I trusted him more than I trusted myself, and that was my mistake. We met on a military base, where I was immediately drawn to his charming smile and kind eyes. He was my rock, my partner, my best friend. We were young and in love, and I thought our relationship was invincible. As we settled into our life together on the base, I felt grateful to have found someone who made me feel seen and heard. He was always there for me, or so I thought. We'd spend hours talking about our dreams, our fears, and our aspirations. I felt like I could tell him anything, and he'd listen with an open heart. But looking back, I realized I ignored the red flags. He'd get defensive whenever I asked about his day, brushing it off as work stresses or guy stuff. I would push him for more information, but he'd shut me down, telling me I was being too curious. I wrote it off as him being protective of his work, but deep down, I knew something did not feel right. He was also extremely protective of his phone, always keeping it close to him, even in bed. I would try to glance at it when he was not looking, but he'd quickly snatch it away, laughing it off as just work emails. And then there were the new hobbies he suddenly developed, painting, hiking, and playing guitar, none of which he invited me to join him in. I told myself he was just trying to find himself, to grow as a person. But the biggest red flag was when he started working on holidays. He'd always been a family man, loving our Sunday dinners and holidays together. But one year, during the pandemic, he started pulling away, telling me he had to work late shifts or go into the office on holidays. I tried to be understanding, thinking maybe he was just really busy. I remember my grandmother telling me, "You deserve better than someone who makes you feel like you are not enough." But I did not listen. I thought I could fix him, that our love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. And then there were my children, who deserved better than to see their mom in a toxic relationship. They'd ask me why I was always sad, why I was always crying. I would tell them Mommy was just stressed, that everything was okay. But it was not okay. As the months went by, I started to feel like I was losing myself. I felt trapped, like I was walking on eggshells around him. I would try to talk to him about it, but he'd just tell me I was being paranoid, that I was overreacting. It was not until he started working on Christmas Day that I felt a spark of curiosity. Why was he suddenly so dedicated to work? What was going on that he could not take a single day off? That's when I started to investigate. I began to notice small things. A text message here, a suspicious phone call there. I tried to brush it off, but the doubts lingered. And then, on a whim, I checked our wedding planning website. We'd been planning our dream wedding for months, but as I logged in, my heart sank. The venue was booked, under another woman's name. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. My mind racing, I tried to process what I was seeing. And then, I saw her. She was wearing the necklace I thought I had lost, the one I had given him for safekeeping. My world crumbled around me. I felt like I was living in a nightmare. I thought back to all the times he'd been working late or out with friends. It all made sense now. I confronted him, trying to keep my voice steady. "Arjun, what's going on?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. He walked into the room, a smug look on his face. "What's wrong, babe?" he asked, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. I took a deep breath, my hands shaking as I held up my phone. "I know what's going on," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I know about the other woman. I know about the necklace." His expression changed in an instant, from calm to calculating. "I can explain," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. But I was not having it. I stood up, my eyes locked on his. "You've been stealing my jewelry to give to her, haven't you?" I accused, my voice rising. He looked taken aback, but I could see the guilt written all over his face. "How did you?" he stuttered. I felt a wave of anger wash over me. "You've been lying to me for a year, Arjun. A year? You've been stealing from me, cheating on me, and lying to my face." He tried to speak, but I cut him off. "Don't," I said, my voice cold. "Just do not." I turned my back on him and started packing my bags. I knew I had to get out of there, to get away from him and his lies. As I packed, I felt a sense of quiet dignity wash over me. I was taking back control, reclaiming my power. I was leaving him, and I was never looking back. "You know, Arjun," I said, my voice steady, "I trusted you more than I trusted myself. But I realize now that was my mistake. I am taking back my trust, my heart, and my life. I closed the door behind me, feeling a sense of liberation wash over me. I knew I had a long road ahead of me, but I was ready. I was ready to heal, to grow, and to find myself again. As I walked away from the house, I felt a sense of hope. I knew I would get through this, that I would come out stronger on the other side. And I knew that I would never let anyone make me feel like I was worthless again. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill my lungs. I was free, and I was finally me again.